Hi everybody, my name is Caitlin, and I am a YA science fiction and fantasy author. I haven't posted over here in a little bit, but I wanted to just kind of do a check-in and let you know some things I'm feeling, and maybe some of what I have to say today will resonate with some people. Today I want to talk about when you're afraid of writing. And I put afraid in quotes because for some people that might be a thing, I guess, to be afraid of your writing. Or afraid of trying, or afraid of failing at your writing. I recently am having a really hard time working on my current story. I'm working on my current work in progress, which is, I'm currently calling it F3. It is the third book in my fantasy series and would be the fourth book I've published, but it's like probably the 10th story I've written. But I personally am feeling a lot of blocks and a lot of pressure with this book. And I felt some pressure with the second book in the series. And I think it comes down to a lot of how I felt last year, where I wrote so much last year. I wrote about 100,000 words last year over the course of the year, not all at once, but I had such a big streak of productivity that now I feel like, what am I doing with my life? I can't do anything. But in reality, I had a book launch this year that went completely sideways. And if you want to know more about that, you can head over to my author account, which is author Caitlin Costello, or my YouTube channel, because I talk a lot about it and I vlogged the process of the launch leading up to it and me writing the entire book. So if you want to watch that, there's a playlist that's dedicated to that. But this science fiction book, Until All the Stars Were Found, had issues from day one once it came to editing and revising and publishing it, and a lot of it was due to 2020 and everything going on with that. So I had a lot going on, and that was and has been really draining. And I also have a day job that is also in arts and creativity. So I think for me, a lot of what's going on is I am discovering a lot of burnout that was very under the surface and a level of stress that was under the surface that's now it's lifted. There's nothing stopping it. I had something that I could focus it on. I just needed to get the books out. I needed to get through the launch. I need to get through this next deadline. But now I don't have a deadline, and I'm feeling a lot of pressure to work on this next book, but also like I don't have my life together. Like, I keep making these to-do lists, but then getting overwhelmed with the length of the to-do list and trying to figure out what is my foundation. So if you're feeling lost and like you're staring at the page and you're just like, I just need to do this much work today, but then you don't do that much work today, and the next day it's just so much more and it keeps piling and piling and piling. You are not alone. That is such a thing. And I experienced it a little bit during 2020, but I definitely think everything going on with the pandemic made it 1,000 times more. I also feel like it did it a lot for me because I work from home a few days a week. So I'm home. Why can't I work on my project? I'm home. The laundry's right there. Why don't I just take 10 minutes and fold the laundry? So what I have written down are little things to try to encourage you is this can go both ways. First, if you have a routine, really take time, sit down, write down all the things that you do in your routine and go, is this really working for me? What can I change and adjust and adapt to work better? So say you've been getting up every day at 5 a.m. and doing yoga or a run or just doing some sort of movement, but you find yourself at night scrolling your phone until 11:30, midnight, sometimes 1 o'clock, and then beat yourself up the next morning because you slept in and didn't do the workout. That one's me. I say I'm going to do something that I don't. Then what can you adjust? Can you do that workout in the afternoon? Does it work better later in your day? If you know that your day job is scheduled from this time to this time, so that's it, or you can't change that, what can you change about your morning or your afternoon to make you feel more comfortable in your day? Maybe it's, instead of scrolling on your phone, looking at TikTok for 20 minutes in the morning, it's getting up and moving and loading the dishwasher so when you get home, it's done. And then you have time and you don't feel like there's this pressure to do that thing, and you can sit down and work. On the other hand, if you don't have a routine and you feel like your life is just so haphazard because there's so much things that you need to do and you can't figure it out and it's everywhere and things are getting out of control, sit down and try to make a list and see, okay, what can I do with the time that I have to make a sort of structure to follow? It doesn't have to be like 15-minute increments, but maybe it's from 6 to 8 p.m. I am going to work on making dinner, eating dinner, and just cleaning up the kitchen and making sure that it is nice for the morning. Maybe it's also like making morning oats, so then you have time in the morning to go do something, and you can use that time for writing now because now your breakfast is prepped. Like little things like that. Where can you fit in time for you to work on something that in turn can alleviate some pressure so that you feel like you feel like you deserve and you are allowed to sit down and work. If you do have a block where when you do finally sit down, you're like, I just need to do something. One thing that I learned a long time ago is set a timer for 8 minutes. 8 minutes feels in some ways so long, like it's a decent YouTube video or a decent portion of a podcast, but it also feels short because it's just a little bit longer than 5 minutes. So set like a 5 to 8 minute timer and just do something for that time. And if that's all you do, you did something. That's great, you did something. And if you want to do longer, wonderful, you're already there and you can get some stuff done. What I'm currently trying to do is to do 30 minutes a day. And I'm breaking that up into like 15-minute increments. So I'll do 15 minutes here. If I have more time, awesome. And then I'll go do some stuff for a while and I'll come back 15 minutes later. And that's sort of been working for me right now. I know I can do a lot better than that. And it's that comparison of I know I can do better than this, but right now this is where I am. And even right then, I was gonna say like what I could do last year and what I did do last year, but that doesn't matter right now. We're here, we're now. We're struggling now, so we need to focus on what we can do right now to make things better. So that you're not scared to sit down. So you're not afraid that you're just gonna be a failure. So you don't have those thoughts of like, I can't do this. You totally can. And the last thing that I want to touch on is just, which when you are in the headspace of this sucks, I suck, my writing sucks, why am I doing this? Who likes this anyway? Like I should just go do XYZ, like normal human thing, is just sitting down and going, why do I enjoy this? What is the thing that I get out of it? What makes me happy about writing or creating or painting or drawing or whatever creative artistic thing you do? And thinking about that little nugget of joy that you get when you tell your story in whatever way, and giving space for that joy to come back. And it might not come back like full force in the moment, but find those little nuggets of joy, those little tiny things, and hold on to them. Take them when they come. And even if it's in that, just that 8 minutes, cool, you did it. And then you can move on. Let me know in the comments down below if you are having a struggle bus with some things and what you're doing to find joy and find those little things that make you happy and make it easier for you to get back into writing. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.